Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I'm George. We're all George. So, this morning, Bitcoin is still on a roll, still bumping above $63,000. Are we going to break above 64 today? There's a really good chance. And also, I got to talk about this big news. Putting two and two together. Jeff Bezos and Michael Saylor caught hanging out together. And are we going to see a massive 9.5 billion buy from Mr. Bezos himself? Let's talk about all these things and more. And by the way, Solana is hot once again. All right, let's do this. Welcome, 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 guys. Good morning. Look at Bitcoin. It just will not stop. It's higher today than last night by 2,000 points. Last night we were hovering around 61 something. Now we're 63. We're getting close to our previous high that we formed like a day ago, which was 63.7. And then we came back down and then we hit it again about 63.3. We're getting close to that 63.7 mark, guys. That's an important resistance because quite honestly, Bitcoin has not hung out above 63,000 for very long. If we break through that, we will be at 69,000 in no time, and we will be at an all-time high for Bitcoin soon. I don't know if people realize how significant that is. To break all-time high this early in the cycle, we're not even anywhere close to the halving event. If that happens, that is astronomically good. And FOMO, if you think FOMO is huge now, wait until that happens. And we're definitely seeing a lot of FOMO, guys. Today, Solana making big moves, up 20%. That's right. And why do you think that's happening? Well, part of it is a lot of memes are going up. Look at this. When was the last time Doge went up 33%? Do you guys even remember when that happened? That's incredible. So many people gave up on Doge. I gave up on Doge, but you know what? That's what FOMO does. When there's retail FOMO, guess what? They're not buying Bitcoin. They're buying Doge, and they're buying Sheep, and they're buying Bonk, which is going bonkers today, and Pepe, and Whiff. They're buying all the degen plays. That's okay. As long as we have people and money coming into the space, that's quite all right. But I've been talking about Bitcoin for a long time. Bitcoin is going up. It's going up and up and up. I've been talking about Bitcoin for quite some time. You don't want to let the big boys take it all. Just to put things in perspective, Bitcoin has now surpassed, well, it did for a little bit, and now it came back down. No, Meta just went up. But Bitcoin did surpass Meta briefly, and is closing in at the market cap of silver. That's step number one, to be bigger than silver. This is all silver in existence, including paper silver. And then after that, we're going to be breaking all these big tech companies and eventually end up where gold is. Bitcoin is just getting bigger and stronger, and no one is stopping it. No one is stopping it, okay? Now, we got some latest numbers from the ETFs. I told you guys this. I predicted 700 million inflow yesterday. I was only off by, what, 27 million. So yesterday alone, we had a big Grayscale outflow. Maybe people are just sick of Grayscale and they want to go to BlackRock. But Grayscale sold 216 million Bitcoin yesterday. But BlackRock itself had 612 million inflow. And then you combine Fidelity's 245 and ARK's 24 and Bitwise's 10. We had an inflow of $673 million into the ETFs yesterday. That's a lot, guys. We're getting 700 million. Soon, we're going to have billions flowing into these ETFs. And you tell me who's going to offset these, right? Like, I can't think of it. There's no entity on the planet that has so many Bitcoins that can offset the buying of the ETFs, other than like Satoshi himself. Okay. I mean, this is happening right in front of our eyes. The supply shock that I've been talking about for weeks upon weeks. We're seeing the effect. This is why we're moving so quickly. If anyone's telling you we're moving according to plan, it has nothing to do with ETFs, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. You can't discount 600 million being bought per day. 700 million, excuse me. And probably today, if we have another good day, maybe it's going to be 800 million. It's not going to stop. It's not. And Coinbase Reserves hit a 2015 low. Do you see what's happening here? Look at this. Look at this. The supply just keeps on going down and down and down and down. I told you guys one day, these ETFs will go to Coinbase and say, hey, we need $500 million worth of Bitcoin. And Coinbase will go like, excuse me, we don't have that to sell you. Coinbase is not stupid. They need to keep some reserves for the retail people, right? They have a lot for OTC, but they have a lot for retail. And the worst thing will be if they run out. And then the Coinbase premium skyrockets. I've seen that before. I've seen where if you try to buy Bitcoin on Coinbase, it's thousands more than anywhere else because they actually literally ran out of Bitcoin. Okay? I don't think they want to be in that position. But if these guys keep on buying, that's what's going to happen. Supply and demand. Demand is sky high. Supply is diminishing. And you know what? Everyone is starting to pay attention. I think a lot of you guys know. Willy Woo says his banker of 33 years in management wasn't bullish until ETFs. You know what's funny? Yesterday, I was talking to a banker myself. And guess what the first thing he said? Bitcoin. He asked me about Bitcoin because he said I inspired him and now he bought Bitcoin ETFs. You know, when you get random people out of the blue that tell you that they bought Bitcoin, well, it's a little scary. That's like a top indicator, but it's also an indicator of FOMO, right? Where were these people when Bitcoin was at $20,000 or $15,000 or even $30,000? You didn't hear about them. You hear about them after Bitcoin breaks $60,000. That's how human psychology is, right? They missed out on triple already, 2x at least, 3x. Plenty of time. We had plenty of time to buy Bitcoin, but most people did not because they're fearful. They buy when things are sky high, right? But that's okay because 63,000 Bitcoin isn't the top. It's nowhere near the top. Okay, we will go much higher. So we'll take them. We'll take them. But you know what? FOMO is definitely real. And you know who else is FOMOing? Jeff Bezos. So Jeff Bezos trying to have some fun. He left Amazon. He started selling a lot of stock. Oh, my thumbnail and my title said 9.5 billion. It's 8.5 billion. But he recently sold $8.5 billion. And people are wondering, why does he need $8.5 billion? He already has billions that he sold before, right? Now, rumors are, since he just got married, right? He's enjoying his new gigantic yacht, like the biggest yacht on the planet. I don't know how much it costs. It's like 1.3 billion or something like that. But you got all these spies, of course, paparazzi that's filming them. And guess who they spotted on that massive yacht? None other than MicroStrategy's Michael Saylor, that's hanging out over there. Do you think that's a coincidence that Michael Saylor just happens to be hanging out by where Bezos is? Like directly there, by his yacht, on his yacht. There's something going on there. There's something going on. You put two and two together. I think Bezos is talking to Saylor, and Saylor is saying a lot of interesting things. So we have this guy that's called Mr. 100. I don't have it today, but this guy's been buying hundreds of Bitcoin every single day, like clockwork. Maybe that's Bezos, right? Like 8.5 billion, honestly, isn't a lot to him. He's worth close to $200 billion. So 8.5 billion, I mean, it's big for us. It's big for the community, but for him, it's nothing, right? So to put just a little bit into Bitcoin, again, that could push him into becoming the richest man on the planet, which I think that's what he wants. He hates it when Elon pokes fun of him saying that he's number 2, right? Maybe wants to outdo Elon with Bitcoin. I don't know. I don't know his true intentions, or maybe he does believe in Bitcoin. But I think if you're seeing him hang out with Saylor, there's a good chance that Saylor has convinced him already. And anyways, this is chump change to him, okay? Even if he loses it all, that's not going to affect his ranking. He's still going to be like number 2 or 3, so it doesn't really matter. But if he's right and Saylor's right, and Bitcoin does a 5x this cycle, that 8.5 billion becomes like what, 60 billion? That 60 billion is a lot of money. That's going to drive him towards the top. So that is probably happening. Either it has happened already where he started buying, or it's coming. I think that's coming. All right. Outside of that, you know what? We got other great news. You got everyone making wild predictions now, but are they really wild? Bitcoin could hit 250,000 sooner than expected. Yeah, I think so. Look at our ferocious rate right now. I mean, I don't think anyone expected us to hit 63,000 or 64,000 in February. I don't think anyone expected that, but it happened. So I don't think Bitcoin hitting 250,000 sooner than expected is really a surprise. Maybe it happens beginning of 2025 or mid 2025, not even late 2025. You know, who knows? The way we're going right now, things are fantastic. This month, we're about to close. We're about to make a couple of records. First of all, the biggest gain in Bitcoin's history, if we do close where we are right now. Actually, that's measuring 62.5. We're a little bit above 63. So 2 records we're going to break. Number 1, we'll have the highest monthly close for gains ever in Bitcoin's history. And number 2, we have never ever closed above the average of, I think it was 61.5. We have never had a monthly average above 61.5. So we're about to shatter 2 records that not even 2021, as bullish as 2021 was, not even in 2021 did we have these records. That's how bullish it is now, and we're not even at peak. 2021 was a peak of the last 4-year cycle. We're not at peak. We just started, and we're not in 2025, yet we're breaking these records already. If you're not bullish about these kind of things, I don't know what's going to make you bullish. These are all the fundamentals I've been talking about and how good they are, and most of them are at all-time high already. These are all phenomenal news, guys. Phenomenal news. And you're looking at, you know, TA, 100,000 will be next. I think, yeah, I don't think we go straight to 100,000, but we'll definitely have a lot of, I don't know, up and downs. But maybe not. Maybe we just go straight up to 100,000 once we break 69,000. That may be around the corner. I don't know. And then people are, of course, calling for $1 million because, you know what? If we could hit 250,000. Why not? Why not $1 million? Right? It's only a 16x from here. And from 250,000, that's only 4x. Right? I do think Bitcoin will hit $1 million. Not this cycle. I think the next cycle. I can't even fathom if Bitcoin will hit 1 million this cycle. I can't do it. My mind will blow. Blow my mind if that happened. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen next cycle. I think we'll probably top out around 250,000 this cycle. And then the next cycle, we only have to do a 4x to $1 million. I think that's what's going to happen. I may be wrong, but you know what? 60% of the time, I'm right every time. All right, now moving on. Solana. Solana is rocking up today. A lot of people are wondering why. Why is Solana going up? Well, it's been stagnant for a while. We had a little bit of a bump with Ethereum, right, for the last couple weeks because of ETF hype, and then somehow that went away, and now all the momentum is back in Solana. $133 right now? $132, up 20%. And you know what? Solana does not disappoint. I still think Solana's going to be at 1,000 by the end of the year. I don't think that's unreasonable. And everything within Solana is blowing up. Bonk, I don't know if you guys noticed Bonk. Bonk is up like 60% today. 50 or 60%. Crazy, but, you know, Pepe is also going crazy. I just showed you guys Doge is going crazy. WIF is going crazy. Jupiter, which is a DEX aggregator on Solana, is going crazy. It now demands 14% of the market share by volume. So they're already one of the biggest DEXs on the planet. So these are all helping Solana's case, why I'm so bullish on them and why they're doing well. I mean, people are FOMOing right now into the memes, and they need Solana to do so. Their TVL is growing, nowhere close to their previous high, but they are growing. They are growing by leaps and bounds, which is good. You have game makers like Mixmob also on top of Solana, and they have license Stormtrooper to be in their game. Interesting. I didn't know you could do that, but I guess you can. And you got Coca-Cola that's also using Solana to verify personal certificates. Interesting. You got a lot of things going on in Solana, guys. A lot of things. But right now, what retail really cares about, memes. Plenty of memes on Solana. They're all doing absolutely fantastic and blowing up. So that's the reason why. But outside of Solana, we got a lot of great movers. You got a lot of things that are moving, right? I mean, even Cardano. Even Cardano is moving up 9% today. Look at Sheeb, up 25%. I mean, you got a lot of great movers, okay? I mean, Injective getting hot again, now at 44. They were stuck below 40 for a few weeks now, up 12%. You got a lot of good movers. Man, Arweave just covered them recently, up 30%. Decentralized storage play because of their new compute layer. I mean, look at Bonk, 50%. I mean, you got real FOMO here, okay? Whenever you see like announcements being made or no announcements being made and you get random 20, 30, 40, 50% gains, you know we're in FOMO land. You know that the parabolic rise is either here or about to come. All right. That's pretty much it. Let's do some Q&A. I'm afraid that's not Sailor. That's Bezos' new wife. All right, let me scroll up. Let me see if I missed anything. Cigar Attach asks 75K before April. You know, it could happen. If we break 69,000 and then we enter unknown territory. And honestly, who knows? You know, with FOMO building, who knows? That could happen. That'd be insane, but it could happen. Yeah, CNBC. Rhonda says CNBC FOMO is going to be crazy at 70K. Yeah, CNBC will be talking about nonstop all day long. Okay, they're starting to already, but you know it will be crazy after Bitcoin breaks all-time high. And I like to see what Kramer says once that happens. We're Densite web design. Will there be a pullback to 60 or 61K. I mean, it could happen. I mean, yesterday we pulled back to 58K, right? If there's too much leverage, there's a long squeeze, we could go back to 60 to 61K, you know? It wouldn't be unreasonable. Have you seen the launchpad of Injective called Dojo Swap? Lots of airdrops. This is Gadius. I've heard it, but I have not been paying attention to it. Driver Eddie, George the GOAT. Appreciate that. Can you do, Fun Master asks, can you do a show on it with timelines and examples from past years? I understand basics, but that's all. What do you mean? What timelines and examples? Of what? Jackson, big super chat. Truly appreciate George for being there for the community. Love you, bro. We're all George. Thank you. I appreciate that. Poor Blue Label lecture. I have a really fun idea for a show, for an episode with Ledger, and I shared before. I think a lot of you guys would enjoy it. I'm going to do some crazy things on at TWC. I'm going to share more of that tonight. Any bullish news coming for Polygon? Not recently. They have a lot of bullish things happening, but I don't have any recent bullish news on them. But they will trend up. They're one of the biggest ones out there. One of the biggest L1s, L2s out there. They will trend up. And there's no worries about that. And I think their partnership with Immutable is going to carry them. And it's not just them. A lot of chains are embracing their ZK EVM technology. Charizard, nice to see she move. Will ever flip Doge? You know, once upon a time I said that. That could still happen. But I've been disappointed with she and their performance. Mostly because all the momentum went into other memes. If there were no other popular memes, I'd say Doge will be flipped. But now, all the money is going to Bonk and Whiff and everything. Man, I closed my Whiff leverage yesterday. I should not have done so, but because they like went down a lot. I should have just kept it open. But yeah, all these memes are like so hot right now. But you got to be careful. Playing with leverage is already dangerous. Playing leverage on memes, even more dangerous. I can't tell you how many times I've been liquidated playing leverage on memes. That takes a super degen to do. Timelines, examples of altcoin season. It's easy, man. I've shown this before. It happens at the very tail end of any cycle. Let's just use Cardano, one of the most boringest coins out there. When did Cardano really pump? Right here. From July, all the way to October in 2021, right? That's when Cardano pumped. So it's really like that was 1 month, and then here's one from January all the way up to May. So you could say that that's the final year, right? So you could say you can make an argument from February all the way to September. That's altcoin season. But look at 2020. Like, it had no movement at all, right? That was the halving year. So after the last halving, after April and May of 2020, Cardano did not move at all until we entered the bullish year. If you look at any of these, they were all the same. Solana, if you look at the last bump, was the same too, right? Look at 2020. No movement whatsoever. Then, starting in like around February, yeah, that's when it started moving, right? So altcoin season traditionally starts the last year or second half of the last year, which means altcoin season should really start like June, July of 2025. That's traditionally how it's always been. So, right, that's why I say alts are doing much better now than before, because you saw it. It was just like flat. They didn't move at all. Shane Johnson, I have 1K sold, 27 ETH, not staked. Should I and where? I don't know. If you want to stake, that's fine. You could do it. You can download a node if you, well, no, you don't have enough for a node. You're pretty close. 32 ETH. You can run your own node. You could do liquid staking like Lido and put your ETH into there. Or you just don't stake it. There's no rule that you have to stake it. Thoughts on VET, and can it go back to its all-time high? Yes. Yes, it can. What is the best way to convince normies to get into crypto? Seems like they only want to listen when things are sky high. That's just how it is. Not everyone can be rich, okay? If everyone understood and listened, then the probability of you becoming rich is less, right? So you do what you can, your family or friends, you educate them, but there are some people that are just not willing to listen. And the best way to think about it is, okay, that just makes you a little bit richer. New people like Cardano because it's top 10 coin and it perceived as cheap. Yes, there's a lot of psychology that goes into it. That's why I've said many times that I'm afraid that this might be the last cycle for Bitcoin in terms of retail, okay, retail investors, because retail investors will look at it and say, I'm not getting into it. I know for a fact. A lot of people have said that in this live chat. I'm one of my best friends. When I talk about Bitcoin, you know where the conversation goes? Oh, I wish Solana pumps. Because he doesn't hold any Bitcoin. Because most people look at Bitcoin, they're like, it's too big. So they look at the cheaper place, right? That's why a lot of people look at like Cardano or Doge. Like, why would I put money into something at 63,000 when I could put it into Doge and it's at 13 cents? That makes a lot more sense to me, right? But they don't understand market cap. They don't understand a lot of things. The differences between these crypto. Why do you think memes have so many decimal points? Because you can buy like 1 million or 1 billion of them for next to nothing. Solana, where should I stake and where? I don't know. Go figure it out. Go Google it. J. Evan, AVAX lagging behind. Is that the norm? Obviously, it's not the norm. And it's not really lagging behind. It's top 10, man. And it's up 9% today. Poke the bear. Does it make sense to pull some profits from earlier runners and rotate into smaller caps to increase the potential upside? Sure. But, you know, a lot of those small caps, sometimes what they do is they go up a lot and then they dump down and then they stop moving. Mid caps do move a lot, and so does big caps. So you could have some small caps and be careful. Don't go too heavy into them. But yes, sure. Take some of your profits and rotate them. Dimitri, I sold my AVAX and Link to buy more BTC. Now 80%. Wish I did it at 30K, not 60K. I left 30K in Solana, 25K say and so. Okay. 80% Bitcoin is kind of high. I think that's really high, but it still works. It still works. Sounds like you're not a fan of ADA. Why do you say it's one of the most boring coins? Because it is. Charles is boring. The language is boring. There's not a lot of dApps. There's not a lot of games. There's not a lot of TVL. Cardano is boring in that way. But you could argue boring is good. It's like the tortoise versus the hare, right? There's no network outages on Cardano. You got to give it to them that. I mean, but the ecosystem definitely lags versus others. Are you planning on creating an update video review of the top 100? Not really. If you look at the last one I did, it's still very relevant. It hasn't really changed. I mean, eventually I'll do it, but I did one like, a month ago. Shane Johnson, great channel name. Congrats on your road to 1 million subs. My 8-year-old girl, Georgia. Okay, I have 10K Engine and 90 cents. Would you keep? Honestly, I've given up on Engine. I was very hopeful on them before. They made a name for themselves with Minecraft. They had a good Minecraft integration. And then they came out with some subnet or parachain on Polkadot that never went anywhere. They're supposed to be the leaders in gaming, but it kind of just like fell off and no one talks about them anymore. Did that guy bet you 1K the other day ever pay up? No. What do you think? Of course not. He probably regrets that, but no, he did not pay. What do you think about XPR? Not XRP, XPR. 42 million. Blockchain for everyone, powerful, compliant. Instant transactions, usernames or at usernames, zero gas fees, on-chain identity. I gotta say that this is a good-looking website. It's fast. It's impactful. It's so much better than so many websites I've seen from crypto projects. It looks decent. It looks decent. They are L1. That's supposed to be fast. Focused on DeFi, focused on payments with domain names like integrated within. It looks decent. It looks decent. And they're already on some big exchanges. How long have they been out, though? Oh, they've been out since 2020. Yeah, I hate to say it. If you've been out since 2020, man, they just don't have any traction. Even in 2021, they didn't break through their previous high. And right now, you could see they have zero traction. There's like no upturn at all. They have not done good marketing. Is spitballing buying stupid? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Nakamoto Games. People have asked me about this gaming project before. I haven't heard about a lot of games onboarding here. I don't know. I'm not a big gamer. I don't pay attention a lot to games. But it does seem like they have a lot of games on here already. Free to play, play to earn. They look decent. I would say, as for gaming platforms, you got Gala's that's still #1. And then I would say, Vulcan Forge would probably be #2. And maybe Nakamoto Games would be, #3. They're decently big, close to 200 million. And it does seem like they have a lot of games already. So, could be a good one. Could be a good one. Gari token has 200 million user DeFi social app. Okay. What do you think about ENS? Well, it's very useful, but again, it's like one of those utility plays. I don't know. It's not very exciting. I don't even have a ENS name. You know, there's nothing about it that entices me to go get one. Yeah, so that's kind of my opinion about that. Driver Addy said, you convinced me on driving my Litecoin 2 months ago and converted Bitcoin. Congratulations. If you look at, I know Litecoin started going up, but still. Litecoin 2-month performance, 11%. Bitcoin 2-month performance, 48%, right? This is why people that still ask me about Litecoin, like, why don't you like Litecoin? Even if you take my personal feelings out of it, you just look at Litecoin versus Bitcoin. If you're holding on something, you want the one that's the fastest moving, right? The fastest horse in the race. And Litecoin is not the fastest horse in the race. Bitcoin out appreciates it and outgrows it every cycle. So what's the point of holding Litecoin? Is spot buying stupid? What do you mean? Almost everyone spot buys. What are you talking about? Chris, no, it's not stupid. Why is Matic not moving? Is something wrong with it? No. No. Well, you know, you got to realize that the environment now versus 2021 is very different. Matic was the top L2 in 2021. They are not the top L2 now. Arbitrum, Optimism, Manta, Midas, Scale, all these are L2s that have chipped away at Polygon's dominance, right? So I think that has a lot to do with it. But that doesn't mean that inherently Polygon is bad or broken. Is Clean Spark a buy? How mining stocks relate to Bitcoin's price? You know, like between the individual miners, I can't say. Because I'm sure there's differences. Look at this. Now CNBC has a Bitcoin article every day. Bitcoin rises, trading at 62,000 to cap a winning month. Well, the month is not over. Let's not, you know, jinx it. But let's see. MicroStrategy, another 52-week high, right at $1,000. Coinbase is a new high. No, pretty close though. It went down a little bit today. iBit up 4%. Not at all 52-week. I would think they would be. And then you got like someone like Mara and Hut. Man, Mara took a huge dive today. Don't know what happened to Mara today. What's Clean Spark? Is it another miner? Clean Spark, 10%. Man, miners are taking a beating today. I guess people are selling off miners. Yeah, miners are taking a beating today. I guess people are just selling off mining stocks because they're like, it's better to hold ETFs. If I had to guess, I don't know why miners are taking a beating today. Cheat to fit. I've been in crypto since 2018. I feel like we're too high compared to what's supposed to be. I feel like that too, but you got to remind yourself, we never had ETFs before, ever. This is the first time in Bitcoin's history that we have spot ETFs. Future ETFs are not the same thing. We have Bitcoin futures ETF. They don't have direct correlation with Bitcoin. It's all traded in paper with fiat. This is not. It has a direct correlation with Bitcoin. So things have changed forever. Arbitrum or Optimism. I've been staying away from the ETH ecosystem, but the Denkun upgrade, or Dunsin. I don't know if I said that wrong or you typed it wrong. I remember it's Dunkun, but anyways. I like both. I mean they're going in different directions. Arbitrum is trying to come out with more chains. Like Zai was a chain that came out, first layer 3. Optimism is trying to connect chains together. I don't know which strategy is the best. So I can't really tell you. Binance is offering insane APR in USDT staking. Does that indicate anything? Should we worry? I don't know what you mean by insane APR. Because even Coinbase offers APR to stake USDC. Thoughts on VeChain adding better and vote? I don't know what's behind them. I know that they were going to announce them, but I don't know. I don't know the thoughts, like what they're doing with them. Shady Lou got a little Cardano, but man, ADA holders are sensitive. They are. They really are. Even when I say ADA is boring, they're like, "Oh, George is a hater." Just because I say it's boring, it's a hater. They're very sensitive, very very sensitive. DMES, thoughts on Compound's pump? I used to be a big fan of Compound and Aave, but these days not so much. Aave is 1.6 billion. Compound is let's just round up to 800 million. I mean, they're the biggest like decentralized lending plays. Like if you want to earn like a few percent, you could provide liquidity into them too and make a few percent. If you're like, if you're like a total degen and you like DeFi plays, then they're important. For me, I like L1s, L2s better. When GD3 RS, even though I could afford it, I don't like overpaying. I hate Porsche dealerships that are like still marking up 50 to 100K on their 911s. I can't stand that. So until prices come back down, I'm gonna stay away. Man, too bad we couldn't break through 63.7, but the day is still very, very early. We just tested again the 63.6. We'll see. We'll see. The day is still early. Although today, the mining stocks are being sold like crazy. So, I don't know. That's an early indication. Maybe we get a pullback. Maybe we don't. Did I close my trade? I did not. I have it open. Thoughts on Cody? Too late to get in? No, it's not too late to get in. It's still relatively small. Paul is asking, still bullish on Sui and Arbitrum? Things are getting crazy. Of course. I mean, I've talked about these projects so many times. I know not everyone watches me all the time, but I've talked about them a lot over the last few months. And fundamentally, nothing has changed with them. So it's not like I'm going to turn super bearish on them like within a month. DB Bear XRP 69. What a name. D Bear XRP 69. Love your channel. Thanks for your perspective. Thank you. Appreciate that. Invisible says, George, Litecoin is not too late to get in. Never. I'll never hold Litecoin over Bitcoin for any reason. There is zero reasons why I would ever hold Litecoin over Bitcoin. A Cryptos R Us TG account joined the Pad's crypto page. Was that you? No. No. I never joined any pages. I never sent anyone any DMs. Nothing. There's a lot of impersonators. And luckily, some of these projects are smart enough to email me and ask me, hey, was this you? Was I talking to you? Did you give us an offer? I never directly reach out to anyone or join any groups. So If you're part of it, make sure the leaders know that that was not me. Man, I got 8,400 people in here. 8,400, almost 9,000 people. Man, that tells you about FOMO. Ranger says, you never answer my questions. Well, had you put your question, I could have answered it. You realize there's 8,400 people asking me questions. That's enough to fill like half of a basketball stadium. Cock prediction. I know Cock is doing well. Look at this. 12%. 156 million. It's getting pretty big. It's getting pretty big. Once it breaks 200 million, 300 million, it's going to be too late to stop the Cock. Make a George coin with a basketball logo. No, I don't want a coin. I don't want the scrutiny of having a coin. Pets. Of course, I hold a significant amount, but I'm not going to tell you how many Bitcoin I have. Thoughts on Flux and All-In AI? That's a horrible name. I like Flux. I think they have good potential. I don't know about this All-In AI. Have you abandoned drivers only? A little bit, but no. We're going to start it up again with new hosts. I'll be part of it, but I have these new hosts, people that I'm close with, that'll be taking it over. Because I just need to concentrate more on Cryptos R Us. Car market is still kind of shitty. I was just at the Chicago Auto Show like a month ago or 2 months ago, and it was the worst auto show I've ever been. The car market is just not hot right now. But I do want to do new stuff with that page though, with that account. Pax OG, I've been following you since 2018. That's a long time. Back then, I had no views. No viewers at all. I had like 100 live viewers, 200 live viewers. If Solana hits 1K, the haters will be full. Yes. Gary. And this project is huge. I don't know if it's huge, man. First of all, I don't like the name. Second of all, I don't like the logo. And third, it's not very big. Not like how you described it. XRP is pumping 2%. Hey, XRP is now 60 cents. If it can hold, you got to give that to them. Let's check some of my leverage plays here on Tapbit. I opened a lot, and they're all doing pretty well. I got a Sheeb one over here up 80%. ADA I just opened, so that's why it's not too big. But Bitcoin, I have a 30x in Bitcoin here, 42%, $5,000, not bad. I have one on Doge, up 38%. ETH up 15%. Injective up 62%. Solana up 86%. Most of these opened just yesterday. So this is my Tapbit account, much smaller than my Mexi account, but it's growing like leaps and bounds right now. Like it's growing really fast. Do you think SHIB will get back to all-time highs? Yes. Yes. How do you view Arbitrum in the upcoming token unlock? Well, I won't pretend like that's not going to hold it back for a while. I think it will. It's a significant drop. I forgot the percentage, but it's a very high number. So it may make Arbitrum stagnant for a little bit. Why did I sell my Litecoin? Because it's not better than Bitcoin. It's that simple. Charlie Lee sold all his Litecoin. The founder of Litecoin sold all his Litecoin, supposedly in 2018. So that tells you something. Why do you think Cardano people are so sensitive? Because, I don't know. I don't want to say more because of their sensitivity. They're going to think I'm an ultra Cardano hater, which I'm not. I love Snek, and they're doing really well. And I think Snek is doing great things, making Cardano less boring and bringing the volume and people to them, right? So they're up 15%. So I'm not a Cardano hater, but like anyone that says anything like somewhat remotely negative about Cardano somehow becomes one. But I am interested in talking to Charles and see if he wants to participate in IFC. Because he has said, he has gone on record saying he wants to fight. I know it's mostly joking, but I would love to get Charles Hoskinson in the IFC. And we will do whatever it takes to accommodate him and whoever he wants to fight. Opinions on Say, I like them. I like them a lot. I didn't know Alex Becker likes Cardano. I didn't. Just sold all my XRP for Link. Well, you may change your mind after you watch my educational video on XRP. In fact, I would argue it's the most educational video ever made about XRP. And hey, Bitcoin's coming back up. Coming back up. I told you guys the day is young. Okay? The day is very young. We could break through the 63.7 like literally in minutes. Just because it falls a little bit like that. I'm on a 5-minute scale, guys. If you zoom out, you realize that there was no dip at all. I mean, just constant upwards. The day is still very young. We'll see. No, I mean he trolls them hard. Oh, you know who else trolls them hard? Arthur Hayes. Arthur Hayes just shot back at Charles recently. Please don't play that educational video. I've seen it 10,000 times. Did it convert you? Are you now an XRP holder? All right, guys. Let's conclude. Overall, Bitcoin is still doing very, very well. Above $63,000. Will we break 63.7 by tonight? We'll see. There's a good chance. There's a good chance of it. There's just too much buying. There's just way too much buying and not enough supply. That's honestly what's happening. And now you got Saylor talking to Bezos. Is he going to make a huge buy? Maybe he started already. Well, let's see. All right, guys. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And before you go, I got something important to show you guys.
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson.